trying to tell me who I am. I gotta show them who I am. It's being Jammin.
I was told I was a killer, supposed to be a dope dealer. When it's time to gas up, they fill up. Time to gas up, they fill up. They fill up me. With things that we should've seen. Shouldn't see. Coming things that we should've been. To the girls that's feeling me. To the world, you're a killer. I don't even know if it's my time yet. Woo! But I'm never coming second if it is. You know I'm my hood, leave the weapon what it is. You can get your shit to slap it, Willie Smith know what it is. You know that? Boy, look at Kodak. Young dread nigga with the kick drum to blow that. With some city girls, that's just so fat they throw back. And if you ever pull that, it's no there to blow that, you probably know. How I pour juice in the fold, but why can't you let it go? The juice sticking to my soul. Can't stop, won't stop, no. I've been told since 2004. I was told I was a killer, supposed to be a dope dealer. Like I'm supposed to move drugs up the villa. Then it's like behind bars, that's what they figure. When the ex-wife says because, nigga. Yeah. I was told I was a killer, supposed to be a dope dealer. When it's time to gas up, they fill up. Time to gas up, they fill up. They fill up me. With things that we should've seen. Coming things that we should've been. To the girls that's feeling me. To the world, you're a killer. Me. Yes, me. Made Jammin with juice with no need. On our way to the T.O.P. With our cities on our back like we gon' see. Hey, hey, like a chief on cheap. Boy, sticking my jack, boy, lean on me. Hey, hey, ducking all the C.O.P. With the devil on his side, hoping he O.D. If you want the truth, I got time for it. You know how many folks hit my line for it? You know all the many nights I done cried. My daddy, he done died. I mean, he really gave his life for it. Whoa, knowing that this life isn't fair. I only see the truth when I'm staring in the mirror. They said keep it G, so I'ma keep it player. That's 24/8 if you wanna take me there, boy. Oh, yeah! I was told I was a killer, supposed to be a dope dealer. When it's time to gas up, they fill up. Fresh to the mud, now it's time to wake up, yeah, early in the morning, woo! I know somebody yawning, woo! But it's time to get that money, bro, woo! You can't act funny about that money, yo, early in the morning, woo! Can I hit it in the morning, woo! But then you gotta feed them kids. Jammin with Juice, y'all know what the business is. What? I said what? I said what? I said what? It's Jammin with Juice, y'all know what the business is. Call in, text in, hit the chat. Okay. Is that right? Okay. Yeah. Fresh dinner,
What's up? Juicy Nation, and to all of our juicy jammers out there, what is poppin', you guys? And good morning, Milwaukee. You are now tapped into, sipping on, and waking up to Jammin with Juice. I am your girl, Noni Juice. Always keeping it juicy, y'all. And of course, I got my boyfriend Jammin with me.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Yo. And we are live from the Jammin with Juice studios at the Milky Way building. You already know. And we sponsored by Cindy Johnson Adolph Day. Hit them up for all your insurance needs, babe. Yeah. We in Milwaukee, y'all. Yeah. We get it lit, y'all. Happy Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. Big homie, come. Who go on the Tuesday? Woo! That was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah, man. And get your energy going, get your blood flowing. You know?
No, facts.
That's
for
what we here
sure. Good morning, you guys. Top of the morning.
Top of the morning to you.
Thank y'all so much for tapping into our show today, the morning stream. And we're going to get cracking on this Tuesday, but what's the first thing I got to do, Jammin? Do you know?
I guess we gotta get your theme music going. Let's get it cracking. Let's get it cracking.
So I got my theme music. Good morning to SE in the chat this morning. We got Willie Grays in the chat this morning. CE in the chat. Miss Cindy Johnson herself. Okay. The boss in the chat. We got KW. Miss Anita Nicole. We got Sean Avery. We got Mick Nut. We got my girl
Kayla. Got a big butt. Good morning.
We got Sir
G.
Chance.
Good morning to
We
you,
got
ladies.
Jeff.
Jeffery,
We
good
got
morning. Sisters, good morning.
G.
Ask G.
4563.
That person knew. I like it, though. I like it, though. 6'7".
What? What you mean 6'7", 6'7"? Kayla already know what it is. She said I got them bars, baby. And yeah, I got them bars, baby.
Yeah.
I just don't, I don't show it all the time, but I got them bars.
Nah, I gotta let y'all know something. I gotta let y'all know something, Juicy Jammers. Noni Juice officially goes by Juicy Baby.
Yeah, it's Juicy Baby.
Juicy Baby's her rap name.
My rap name, and it's gonna be my R&B name when I eventually one day make a R&B.
You gonna hit the vocals? That's what you gonna do, Juice?
No, I'm gonna use AI. You mad? Cause I got AI now.
Hey, folks is mad though. Kalani been pissed.
That's what all these girls is doing anyway. That's what I'm just like, bro. The selective outrage is crazy, y'all.
I think she got a point.
What is her point?
I mean, at the end of the day, look, I think when you make something real from the depths of your soul, it comes off that way. But when you're using something that's like a computer, it can't create anything new. It can only create what has already been done and remix it. That's all it does.
That's all humans do.
We put our own little twang on it, though.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You be having artists out here that take an actual song and don't do nothing different to it and then just use it. And then they pick a song that's super nostalgic, so then everybody's like, oh my God, this song is the best. Like, get out of here.
Juice, you have to also remember, all artists aren't good artists,
Okay.
And
so maybe she needs to be hollering at them.
It is what it is.
Like, she ain't hollering at them.
We'll see what happens with this AI boom. I mean, personally, I've been thinking about using a lot more AI anyway. Because personally, I've always just wanted to use like different, when I have different creative thoughts, I want to use singers, right? And sometimes I don't have a singer right there for me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I've already written out the song because I am a songwriter.
Right.
I write out the song and then put a female vocals up on it and see what we conjure up. But it'll all still be my music, so.
Right, exactly. Just
That's all
use
how you
AI
use it.
as a tool, but all of this mad stuff going on, save it. Save it for your mama, okay? Save it for the argument y'all about to have at the Thanksgiving table this week.
Yeah,
like,
that's real.
Now.
Folks really about to have that argument at the Thanksgiving table this week, man, whether it's coming through with the new baby daddy, coming through with the new boyfriends, you know what I'm saying? Who the hell is this N-word? You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
People gonna have those types of conversations this Thanksgiving.
Whoa.
You know? So,
yeah, no, it's crazy out here. But make sure y'all like this broadcast, this live cast is what I'm calling it. Make sure you guys like this live cast. Make sure you share it. Make sure y'all are subscribed if you are not already, because we would appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? But how was your night yesterday, Benjamin? What you got going on in your life?
I really don't got nothing much, man. Nothing much is happening. No, I'm lying. Look, hey, you know what, y'all Juicy Jammers? I gotta tell y'all something, man. And look, this is something that happened to me in these past few days, okay? And I'm not certain how I should really feel about it, but let me. I know how I should feel about it. At the same time, it just lets me know how much further we have to go as a country, okay? I walked into a bar. A few days ago or whatever, and I've actually frequented this bar many times in my lifetime. Back in my day when I'm out there, getting the little skinny dips or whatever, I used to take to this specific bar.
Skinny dip?
You know what I'm saying? I
thought they were honey dips.
Honey dips, whatever you want to call them. All the floozies. You know what I'm saying? I used to take them through this little spot. Anyway, I go into a little bar. This bar happens to be a white-owned establishment, okay? When I walked into this place.
In Racine.
Okay. This is the very first time I ever got looked at sideways walking into this particular bar. I walk in there and there was nothing but a whole bunch of white men in there, all right? And I don't have no problem with nobody. I walk in wherever I go, and I've always immediately typically feel loved. This particular time,
I knew for a fact the energy shifted in the room. As soon as the black man entered, you see this guy over here, man. This is why America's going down. You know, I'm getting all these types of vibes. So
Was it only white people in there? Did you see any black people?
It was legitimately only white people in there. The bartender was white, and she was pretty cool. And then the rest of them were just white dudes, and it was like this one white woman who was in there or whatever, and I guess one Jewish kid. There was one Jewish kid in there. And the white dudes who was like, man, we're all white over here except for this guy. He's Jewish. You know, I never really understood why they have to always point out the Jewish person versus the other people who are from Europe. It doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, neither here nor there. I get to drinking my drink and stuff, and I feel the energy in the room shift, like I said. And the gentleman was like, you know what? I guess he felt like he had to come over to me and talk to me and let me know what he stood on, try to stand on business. So as soon as he walked up to me, he was like, hey, how you doing, man? I'm here all the time, and I'll never see you here. And
Whoa.
I was like, well,
hey, guy.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
whoa, the hostility.
In fact, the hostility, like, I'm just over here just trying to enjoy my little time. I only came here for 2 shots. That was it. But I was like, you know what? I've frequented this place many a times. I've never seen you here. You know, he's like, yeah, I'm here every Saturday. So then, you know, to flip, you know, do a Jedi mind trick on them. Because, you know, white people, when they feel like they own the place, you got to let them know that you own the place. Like, dude, you don't own the place, I own the place. You know, I felt like we was having a little ego off, if you will. So I stuck my hand out and I was like, what's your name? And then he was like, oh, no. I said, no, what's your name? You know, and then he ended up telling me what his name was, and it doesn't really matter. I think he said his name was like Mitchell or something.
Mitchell.
You know what I'm saying? Shook his hand, and then he went by about his day or whatever, right? Next thing I know, though, that ends up happening to me or whatever, that kind of, you know, threw me for something. I'm drinking my drink, and the white dude who's a Jewish guy, right? The white dude who is a Jewish guy, his girl comes in. His girl does not look good whatsoever. She's definitely an ugly woman, okay?
Oh,
she was
wow.
a very ugly woman. However, kudos to him because he was the only man in there who had a woman. Everybody else in there just by himself, whatever. So he pulls this woman in, and she was like, hey, babe, what are we about to do after this? What are we about to do? He was like, you know, I'm about to go kick it with my niggas, man.
Whoa.
I said, what? What? I swear to God, bro. I'm like, what? So I'm like, you know what? Let me just get my drink, man. I want to charge this dude up. So then, next thing I know, literally probably about within the 2-minute time span, she was like, yeah, we gotta hit our weed guy up, man. Woo, woo. And he was like, yeah, man, you know, cause he's one of the coolest niggas around. And I'm like, what? What? Like, is this really happening right now? And the other white dudes, who I'm certain is like down for Trump all day, they looking at me. They looking at me. They didn't really like, oh, this black dude better say something. If he'll say nothing, we finna lose respect for him. You know. So then ultimately, I actually ended up talking to the dude. I was like, bro, like, do you not see me here, fam? Like, you don't have to speak this language. He was like, what's going on? What's wrong, bro? Like, you know, it's 2025. You know, and then no, legitimately, Juice. He starts breaking down to me how much he loved hip hop, all in all, for how much he's down for black people. He said, I said it with the A, like, you know, it's not like I'm being derogatory to you whatsoever. And I'm like, bro, all that stuff isn't cool, fam. Like, I don't care how much you're trying to tell me that, like, it should be okay for you to say the N-word in 2025. While I'm here, I don't know you. You know, I don't know you. You not my brother, and I ain't never kicked it with you. I ain't never had no ramen noodles with you, nothing like that. You never ate at my table. So, you know, ultimately, but I told him about himself right then and there, had my drinks, and then I ended up leaving or whatever. But it was just one of them things where I was like, damn, like, is this how comfortable white people feel in 2025, or at least the YCs out there, you know, the young crackers? You know, is that how they feel these days, that they can just do whatever, say whatever when they want, and that they just rule the world?
They feel so emboldened now, bro.
Yeah, you know, because they've been listening to hip hop since they was like, you know, you're just kids, you know. But I come from a time period where hip hop wasn't even a thing you could listen to. Like you had to sit back and, you know, you was almost shunned if you was listening to it. I remember my music teacher telling me hip hop wasn't even music. But yeah, that happened to me the other day, Juice, and I was just flabbergasted. But I said, you know what? in my mind, I'm gonna go back to that place because that dude told me he was gonna be there every Saturday. So I was like, I'm gonna go back to this place and actually dissect this dude's mind because
I don't think that's a place you should go back to.
oh no, it's definitely a place I'm going back to because
Okay. Walk right into it then.
There's long as they don't got no noose out there waiting for your boy. You know,
right? Because they're gonna have that out there every day.
I'm just saying.
It's
Folks
perfectly
used
fine.
to,
Just
shoot.
keep going back to the place where you heard them say the N word in front of you, and that they think it's cool. Where they charge you up, like, "Hey, guy, I haven't seen you around here ever."
Yeah.
Go back to that place, Benjamin, because that story always works out.
No, I'm going back because you know I feel like that the reason they even have these types of notions against black people or whatever, or other people who don't look like them, is because they don't know people like us. So I really
They're
want
not around us. You're saying
they're not around us, and then ultimately, like, you know me, man, I just want to figure out what makes you tick. Like, I want to know why you still stand so 10 toes down with Donald Trump and his ideology and his rhetoric, because you know it's very dangerous towards the American first principles if you're thinking that way.
Yeah, I'm the type to just be like, ooh, I don't want to go there again.
I feel you. I could avoid it.
I just don't see the point. And maybe it's me not wanting to be around certain people that I know would irritate me.
Mhm.
It's like if the vibes have been off since I was there, I don't like to be in places where I feel like I'm not welcome. You know, like I understand back in the day, like our during the civil rights era, we went through a lot, y'all. Like we went through a lot to get the rights that we have now, to be able to be in the spaces that we're in now. And I understand what they went through. Oh, I don't understand, I guess I should say. But now that I have a choice, I'm not going back there.
Yeah.
Like I just don't see the need to. I only want to be in places where I feel welcome, because I do know that it's 2025, and I do know that certain people feel very bold to say and do and act on anything they feel right now because they feel like they might not have any consequences on them. And I just am not the type of person to put myself in a bad situation like that, to where it's like, okay, I know these people don't like me. I know I'm literally by myself here. I'm outnumbered. I'm just not doing it. But I get your point, because you like to talk to people. You like to see what makes them tick. You like to, you know, like get to know them, form relationships and bonds. Right. But I'm more so like, forget y'all, honestly.
Because the thing is like, I have relationships on both sides, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. I have relationships on both sides. However, I just want to understand, you know, these people who could potentially, you know, have an influence, an impact on our political environment or whatever. I want to understand why you believe the things that you believe.
Right.
You know, like, why do you believe that, like, blacks are inferior? Why do you believe that Hispanics are inferior? Why do you even believe that you're the master race? Why do you believe all these things, man? Is it the great replacement theory that a lot of white demographics have thought is a real thing that's happening to them, and they're just being replaced and they're being shunned out and pushed out of power? Is that one of the reasons why you're clinging so hard onto these values of yours? You know, I want to know those types of things. And then secondly, like, if we being honest here, man, we may not have a choice. Like, you may not want to go back to 1963, but it sounds like if we continue on with this current government right now, we have no choice but to go back to 1963. So civil rights bill has already been stripped, you know, so you know, it's only a matter of time, so you better get ready right now.
I get what you're saying, and I feel like maybe they feel that way because it's something that was passed down to them. It was taught, you know, like how they say nobody is born racist is definitely something that you get passed down from your parents or your grandparents or whatever, but it truly is up to you to not want to believe those values anymore. But values and morals, I feel like, are very hard to break somebody out of, you know, and they're gonna feel how they feel. That's why sometimes people be like, some generations just gotta die off.
And that's what I be saying. Like I legitimately believe that, bro.
I don't really know if Gen Z, outside of like, because I know like Charlie Kirk, when he used to do his college,
his college
tours and college events, and he would be trying to get the people riled up. That's really what the Republicans want to do, honestly, is to make sure the younger generation is informed, to kind of indoctrinate them into their party, right? Into their way of thinking. Yeah. But I honestly think that Gen Z and younger is living in an era and an age where I think they don't fully have the same ideologies as their grandparents and their great grandparents did. Okay. You definitely do have they're still there for sure. But I would like to believe that it's lessening a little bit, you know, as more generations come in.
In a perfect world, Juice, that's truly what Jammin would like to believe. You know, I would like to believe that those things are happening because I believe that we are progressing as a nation. I believe we're progressing. I believe that we're a melting pot, and inside of a melting pot, there's going to be different attitudes, morals, values, styles, and culture. All will be mixing, and eventually we'll figure out exactly what it'll be in the end of it, right? And I believe that there are kids out here right now who have been I don't want to say desensitized, but so used to other cultures that they don't really care about all the whole race stuff. I agree with that. You know, coming from racing, a lot of people down the race scene, although I had that little spat over the weekend, I would say a lot of people down the race scene are more accepting of other cultures and just accepting of diversity just because that's how we grew up.
It was just that
down
bar.
The race scene. Yeah, that bar, for whatever odd reason.
Specific bar that you went to.
Yeah, them dudes was, they was tripping. But at the same time, this is another scary thing because, you know, when you start to grow a little bit older, whether you may be Gen Z or Gen Alpha, whatever, you could even possibly be a millennial. You know, you start to adopt these new ideas to figure out who you are and figure out your identity. And some of these people, you know, start to take on the ideologies and the identities of what, you know, MAGA would like to be because MAGA tells you as a particular, like a white individual, this is who you're supposed to be. You're the leader of your family, you're the leader of this nation, all these other things. And you start to be indoctrinated in that idea. And then you start to believe other people are less than. However, you know, every person's created equally. So.
Right. I was going to bring something up. Well, actually, I'm going to bring it up real quick because we're on the topic of you guys. And I was going to talk about it in some juicy, not today, but like a couple days or maybe like sometime last week or something like that. But since we're talking about the youth and like Gen Z and what they are currently learning from their family members or what they're not learning, I saw a post that said Kamala Harris wanted the voting age to be changed to 16 years old.
Really?
And
Okay.
I wanted to
That's
know what you
interesting.
thought about that. I mean, we could make it a topic for another day, but
that is definitely a topic.
Since we're talking about it now,
you know what? Since we are talking about it now, I don't see.
should the voting age change, y'all? Put it in the chat. Do y'all think that 16-year-olds should be able to vote when it comes to our elections?
I would actually like that to be a thing, man. I would like that to be a thing because I've said this before, especially, you know, when I become president in 2052, I would like to see more Americans at a younger age involved in politics to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember being 16 years old. When I was 16 is when Barack Obama first became the president, right? But my school made sure that we went to go see his inauguration and all those things. Like, they did a whole little video, whatever, of it, and we saw it from Case High School. However, it was one of them things where I was like, dang, like, I wish at 16 I could have voted because I had some understanding of what was happening politically. Not to say that I knew every little bill and all those other things, but I felt like I should have had a voice in my America, you know? So I think 16 is good.
I do think that
I can smoke cigarettes at 16, so why not?
Can you really?
Yeah, at 16 you can buy cigarettes, yes.
No.
At 16 years old, you can buy cigarettes.
I thought it was 18.
Nah, at 16 years old, you can smoke cigarettes.
Because you couldn't even purchase hookahs until like 18.
Yeah, it was, I know for a fact 16 was when you can smoke cigarettes, though.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't agree with it, though.
Okay, so one, what you just said made me think of when elections are going on. I think teachers in schools should have like a fake voting day for all of their students.
That'd be cold though.
And so they can, be informed about what's going on. Right. I think the politicians should definitely visit the schools and talk to them about what's going on and what the kids would be voting on, so they could potentially have like a fake voice, you know, in a sense, and then they'll be paying attention to the election, and you kind of raise them up to understand the importance of voting. I will say, in a perfect world, I would say 16 is a good age. It would be a fine age for people to be able to start voting. Only if they were 100% informed, though. That's why I said in a perfect world, let's say you had 16-year-olds who knew what was going on from a younger age, and they're finally at 16 and they can place their vote in. Because the reason why Kamala even said that was because she was like, hey, I feel like 16-year-olds should be able to vote because the elections that's going on is really about the future. And it's the future that they're going to be living in. It's the future that they're going to be coming up in. So they should be able to have a say so in who gets to be put in those positions. Now, while I feel like it should be the duty of the adults to make sure that we are voting in the right people for the future generations, if you have an informed 16-year-old who is knowing of what it is that needs to be done for the country and for the community, that might be a good idea. I also think she's saying this because I think there were a few more, or at least it seemed like on social media to me, that there were more liberal teens than there were conservative teenagers, since we're living in this age where younger people are a little bit more open to change and progress and to, you know, have the narratives be switched and stuff like that. I think the Democrats might think that it will work in their favor if 16-year-olds could vote, but if they're not informed and they don't necessarily know what's going on and they just seeing clips just on Instagram only, you know, I don't know if that will work, but that's why I said in a perfect world. But definitely the school system should do something like that, where they allow for kids to get involved, at least in some way, shape, form, or fashion, because it is their future that they're going to be growing up in. But
nah, that's real. That's real. And I just want to put it out there. Yeah, I was definitely wrong about putting that out there. It was actually 18 back when I was just a child, but now it's 21. So to be able to smoke cigarettes.
You said it's 21?
It's 21 now. Before it used to be 18.
Before when?
Back in my day.
What day is that? 1990 what?
2010. Back in 2010.
2010. That's really, when did they change it?
I think it just said in 2016 or 2018 they changed it to being 21. So
yeah,
just want to put it out there for the people. All right, but
you're funny, bro.
Well, you know, it's so crazy because you see all these movies and stuff as a kid or whatever. It was something about being there at the age of 16 that people could smoke cigarettes. Maybe not purchase them, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm still with Kamala Harris though on that idea. Being 16 years old and being able to vote, I think is actually perfectly legitimate. You know, because if they're allowing people to do other things with their bodies at a younger age, why can't I actually have a say-so in the America that I'm planning to grow up in?
Now, I do agree with Miss Anita Cole, who said a 16-year-old is not making decisions about my taxes, healthcare, etc. Hecky no.
But they working at 16 though.
That's why I said in a perfect world, like if our youth were groomed to know what's going on and to be educated on what's going on, that's why I said I think it starts in the school systems for that to be a thing where they know how to vote, what it means, all of that stuff. Don't just throw them.
Now.
You can't just throw them in there thinking that they're gonna make the best decision, because we got grown adults who clearly don't know how to make the best decision.
But see, that's what I'm saying though, because like, okay, if we allow kids at the age of 16 to vote, I'm down for that. Because at the same time, there's people who are hella ill-informed in the voting processes at older ages. You know, that's why we got the current president we got right now. Because people was dumb, didn't even listen to this dude, didn't listen to his rhetoric, and obviously didn't even learn in his first years of being our president and how we ended up going into a whole pandemic because of the gentleman. So they voted for this guy. And by the way, I just want to throw this out there too. He's actually doing a lot worse in this term than he did in his first term. Like a lot of people aren't liking this guy. He's earning a lot of dissatisfactory points against his credibility as being the president the second time around. Yeah, it's just one of them things where I'm like, dog, like we said all this stuff was gonna happen, and he ain't even been the president for a year yet.
Yeah.
Like, so this is where we at. But no, if we got younger kids to actually be able to go ahead and vote, I'm all for it, man. 16 years old, that's solid.
They got to be groomed first.
Definitely got to learn about the voting process first.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Politicians need to be going to the schools. Like, it's too many times that they do not be going to the school systems to teach them about what's going on. But
that'd be hard.
That's neither here nor there. It's all in our heads for right now. But you guys, we are going to be trying something a little bit different today. I just want to preface it to them so they know, because I'm all about, you know, letting the people know what's going on. But we're going to try today to not have breaks. All right?
We ain't doing breaks, y'all.
We're not going to do breaks today just because we're trying to test some things out, you know, experimenting with the idea of stuff. So we're not going to have breaks in between like how we were doing, but we are still going to play our lovely sponsored commercial before we go into something juicy, which we're actually about to go into some juicy right now. But first, here is a word from our sponsors at Allstate.
Mayhem like Allstate. I'm thick cut bacon sizzling on your stove. while you were over there smearing your bagel, this little piggy went on a splatter spree. And if you don't have the right home insurance coverage, you'll be crying wee, wee, wee over this fire in your home. So get Allstate.
Contact Milwaukee Allstate agent Cindy Johnson today at 414-445-2558.
Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's Naughty Juice. You know we keeping it juicy.
Spilling truth with a smile so sweet. Talking all the buzz from the blogs and the tweets. From the headline to the hometown streets. She bring the flavor, can't nobody compete. Something juicy with Naughty Juice. Talk of the town, yeah, she got the news. Keeping it fun, keeping it true. It's something juicy, keeping it juicy too.
I love that song so much. Like I said, learn the song, y'all, and I might have a prize for you, allegedly. Just do it, all right, and tag me in it. But we are going to get right into something juicy. Shout out to Allstate. I just want to say that real quick. Make sure you holla at them, okay? But the first thing that I want to bring up for something juicy, I want to talk about Jesse Jackson, you guys, because Jesse Jackson, civil rights leader, it's not bad.
Okay, I've been seeing a lot in the news about him lately.
I know. He has been in the news because I think it was last week, news broke that he was being admitted into the hospital and there wasn't much word around what was necessarily going on. We just knew that he was in the ICU, and rumors just be spreading like wildfire, y'all. But I would like to tell y'all right now that civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson was released from Northwestern Memorial Hospital on Monday, the Rainbow Push organization said, after sources said he was receiving care to manage his blood pressure. Jackson, who is currently 84 years old right now, and according to CBS 58, they're saying a prodigy of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., he has been under observation for PSP, all right, and he is currently in stable condition. The organization that Jackson founded, which is the Rainbow Push organization, said literally yesterday, all right? So a November 16th statement from Jackson's organization said he was breathing on his own without the assistance of machines and not on life support, because that was one of the rumors that had came out, was that this man was about to die and croak over.
Yeah, I didn't want to hear that one, but
like acting like they put him in hospice or something like that, you know? But the separate source added that he had been receiving medication to raise his blood pressure, which is a form of life support. But further details about his current condition, about like PSP, had not yet been released. But they're saying PSP is a rare neurological disorder that affects body movements, walking and balance, and eye movements. So I'm just glad to hear that, you guys, because my goodness, people just be taking information and just running with it, y'all. And I'm like, my God, why they be doing that? But shout out to Reverend Jesse Jackson, and I hope he has a really good recovery.
yeah, when I first and foremost, when you said PSP, I thought of ESP. You know, like
ESPN?
No,
I'm just
ESP. ESP, like psychic stuff. You know?
ESP?
It's called ESP when you got like telekinesis and you can read people's minds and stuff like that. That's what I first thought of. But now when you talk about PSP, it's like it all makes sense now, you know. But shout out to Reverend Jesse Jackson. When I had first heard the news of, you know, your health scare, I'm literally got to praying, because I'm like, dog, like, you know, our elders are going away, passing on and transitioning, and he is such a monumental figure, not within just our communities, but inside of the American civilization. I mean, at the end of the day, this is one of the first black men, I think the first black man to go and run for president. You know, so without a Jesse Jackson, we would have never had a Barack Obama. So shout out to Jesse Jackson, man, and everything you've done. I'm glad that you didn't turn and flip to become the FBI like Al Sharpton. So
people be putting them against each other. It's
man,
so funny.
I've been telling people for the longest that Al Sharpton was the feds. I remember when we was at our old station and stuff, I told people that, and so many people called in, Al Sharpton not the Fed. I've been telling you he is the government informant. All right, I've been saying Al Sharpton was a government informant, and then he finally came out probably like 3 weeks ago and said, I've been working for the FBI for the past 40 years.
Did he say that? I missed that.
Yeah, legitimately, he came out and said it. And
yikes.
It's just one of them things where, you know, you gotta respect those who truly maintain their integrity throughout the whole plight of the Black American fight. You know, so
Yes.
yeah, Al Sharpton, Master Splinter, straight up.
Right, he is a fighter, Trey Tay, and so yes, continued prayers for Jesse Jackson, so he can come back better than ever, you guys. Now, moving right along, we gotta talk about Lizzo. We gotta talk about my girl Lizzo because she is in the news. What?
Sometimes I think about things that are very inappropriate, and then
When I
just
said
laugh.
Lizzo?
Nah,
Oh.
it is about Lizzo. But you know, sometimes I think about movie moments. Sometimes, like man. Anyway, go on with your story.
All right. Well, Lizzo is being talked about once again because she is saying that Ozempic is erasing all the big girls.
Here it is.
She is saying Ozempic is taking over the industry and the big girls are disappearing, you guys. So according to the Neighborhood Talk, shout out to the Neighborhood Talk, Lizzo is now sharing her thoughts about how weight loss drugs like Ozempic are having a negative effect on the big girl community. In a candid personal essay, Lizzo explains that she loves being a big girl, but she's becoming concerned that a lot of women are turning towards Ozempic to change their appearance because of the pressures of society. She claims that now there aren't as many big girls in the entertainment and modeling industry because everyone is taking weight loss drugs and it's starting to erase heavier girls. She said, quote, "So here we are halfway through the decade where extended sizes are being magically erased from websites, plus size models are no longer getting booked for modeling gigs, and all of our big girls are not so big anymore. We have a lot of work to do to undo the effects of the Ozempic boom." All right.
Yeah.
Now, I know what you're about to say.
Yeah.
I know what you're about to say because people are looking at it like people are looking at it
the
like
kettle skinny.
Lizzo, you are also losing weight yourself. So what are you trying to say? So she gave details about why she decided to start losing weight. She said she has always been a proud big girl, and she still is, but she realized that a lot of people didn't recognize her talents because of her weight, and it made her
Hell
sad.
no. Hell no.
Then in 2023,
I'm about to cook her ass. Hell no.
She went through severe depression and was deeply suicidal, which inspired her to start taking her weight seriously. She claims through therapy she realized that she was hiding behind her weight and using it as a mask. And
You
from
can't
that
have
day
it both
on,
ways, Lizzo.
She decided to start losing weight the healthy way and take back control of her life. She said, "I want us to allow the body positive movement to expand and grow far away from the commercial slop that it has become because movements move." What do y'all think, man? She's saying the big girl community is just slowly going away. She's saying that the big girls are no longer embracing their plus size bodies and they're all trying to get back.
I think
and
she's
fit into
talking
these
about herself.
Model standards.
I think she's talking about herself. I think Lizzo is talking about herself. She's looking at the woman in the mirror that's no longer there. All right, Lizzo, you said on record. You said, bitch, it's Lizzo. Call me Lizzie. I've been fat and I've been skinny, and bitches still ain't fucking with me. That's what you said, Lizzo. So which way do you want to have it? If you want to be the voice for the big girls, just go back to being a big girl then, Lizzo. Now you over here skinny and now you fat shaming girls. You are bogus.
Wait.
Okay, you are bogus. And I want to say this. She's talking about mental illness and all them other things. That's why I got skinny. That's why it's not big Lizzo no more. No, what you wanted people to forget about is the big girl who decided to shove bananas up a girl's U-ha. Okay, and talking about, oh no, this is all for choreography. You wanted us to forget about that. That's what you wanted us to forget about, Lizzo. That's why your ass faded to skinny. That's what happened. That's what happened. Okay, so you came out to the public eye to be other things to talk about. What besides your weight and the bananas? Okay, the banana in the tailpipe. All right, but no, Lizzo, you can't have it both ways, bro. You either gonna be for the big girl community or not.
Wait.
W's in the chat. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. W's in the chat.
No W's in the chat. I have to defend this right now.
Why?
I have to defend
Why?
it because I can't allow you to. Okay, let me play devil's advocate here for a second.
Why you playing? You want to be on the side of the devil?
No.
You want to be on the side of the devil? You a Christian? That shouldn't even came out your mouth.
What I am trying to say, is I think where she's coming from is the intentions behind why the bigger girls are losing the weight.
She was the voice of it.
Wait, let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish.
Okay, all right.
I have never yelled at a girl like this. All I'm saying.
Hell no. No, go ahead,
All I'm saying is, I think what she's saying is the bigger girls are doing it because they are feeling the pressures of society in order to lose this weight and not in a healthy way. Like, I've seen so many people get on Ozempic who didn't even need to be. I've seen skinny people get on Ozempic and they look like this now.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think what she's trying to bring attention to and awareness to is just the idea that you can get on this medical weight loss drug idea and everything is just supposed to happen so quickly for you guys. But what I have heard is as soon as you stop taking Ozempic, you gain all the weight back. So really, you're not learning how to be healthy for yourself. So I think what she's saying is you can still love your body how it is, big or small. And if you do want to get smaller, do it the right way. You know, apparently she has said she's never taken Ozempic, I don't think.
That's what she said.
She has
That's what she said.
taken
I don't believe
like
it.
a healthier route to doing so.
I don't believe it.
And I honestly feel like if you are a big girl, you should love who you are. Like, you shouldn't hate
100%.
yourself because you
100%.
are a bigger person.
100%.
But I do think that if you want to get smaller, do it the right way. You know, eat healthier vegetables, maybe get a trainer,
Look.
work out in the gym, go for walks. Like, because I think that's really what she's trying to say and trying to pinpoint. It's like, listen, you don't have to get on Ozempic just because you want to get booked for this modeling role.
No. If that's what she meant, then Juice, she should say that. Don't do Ozempic. It's bad for you. Okay, Ozempic is bad for you, but if you want to go the right way about it, then go the right way about it. Otherwise, just love who you are. If you are a bigger person, so what? You know, you should just feel the love inside of you, okay? As long as you're happy with you, that's all that really matters. All this other societal pressures is the things that Lizzo caved into. Okay, so you want to go ahead and listen to Lizzo when she's talking about, oh no, now the big girls don't got no voices. Then go ahead and be the big girl voice then if that's what you want to be, Lizzo. Okay, you went over there trying to be skinny as Rihanna, and you're not Rihanna, you're Lizzo. Okay, be that. It's okay, like, and that's my thing, man. Whether you big or super skinny, just embrace your body. Yes. I know people who have been super big before, and personally me, shout out to my cousin, but hey cousin, hey, I loved you when you were bigger, bro. I really do. I wish my big cousin came back. All right, my skinny cousin now, he's just not the same. He's just not the same. Okay, he don't even cook the same. Okay?
Because he's trying to be healthy. He ain't finna be putting all that salt and sodium and seasonings into the hamburger meat and into all of the foods that he used to cook into the fried chicken.
And it don't taste the same no more.
Eat baked chicken. And see, this is my problem, is because we over here be judging people because they want to change their lifestyles and be like, oh, you changed, you switched up. Yeah, I'm supposed to. I'm growing.
You don't even fry chicken no more. You just bake it.
Good. Maybe you should try it. How about that? Maybe you need to go get yourself some baked chicken instead of eating Fritos in the morning. How about that?
I don't eat Fritos in the morning, so don't come at me like that.
How about that?
Don't come at me like that. But no, for real, Lizzo, man, I really think this is you being very hypocritical of your entire journey and other women who have followed you. Because at the end of the day, you were telling people along your journey of becoming skinny, this is how you're supposed to live, and they followed you. Now you talking about, oh, the big girls don't got a voice anymore. So what? You want your fans and the people who followed you to become big girls all over again? You know, so like figure out the direction, figure out your path, figure it out, man. Figure it out. But Lizzo, you are a great artist, and I can't wait for you to drop some more new music. All right, and I hope to hear that in this new music. You know, I hope to hear that.
Y'all are crazy. Why is people saying Juice buy boiled eggs, Ben? What does that mean?
Oh, because you do buy boiled eggs.
I know, but did you mention eggs and I missed it? Did you mention something about eggs?
I ain't mentioned
Why everybody
eggs.
talk about eggs?
Because remember you were just boiling eggs.
I do like to.
Because she don't know how to cook, y'all.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make so much money I ain't gonna need to. How about that? How about that?
You gonna get
how about that? You know
you
how
gonna get
to
a
cook.
chef that look like Lizzo.
You know how to cook and you don't make yourself healthy meals. So how about that?
That is not true.
How about that?
That is
you know
not
what?
true.
Talking about healthy foods, you guys.
That's why I make my own soups.
I wanna you had to throw that in. I wanna move on to the next Something Juicy because we still got another one after this. Which, you know, we rolling, we cooking here. We cooking. But I gotta talk about Campbell's. Y'all know the soup can Campbell's. Everybody gets the chicken noodle soup. They got the tomato soup. They got all the little nice soups that you can purchase on the aisles and the shelves of your grocery stores, all right? But right now, Campbell's is dealing with a major issue after a lawsuit revealed a recorded rant from one of their top executives, you guys.
Really?
According to the complaint Former security analyst Robert Garza says he recorded Vice President and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally during what was supposed to be a discussion about his salary. Garza claims the meeting turned into an hour-long tirade where Bally insulted Campbell's products, he mocked customers, and made offensive remarks about Indian employees.
Indian employees?
Yes. In this recording, Bally allegedly called Campbell's soups for poor people.
Damn.
And he joked that he didn't want to eat the chicken because it came from a 3D printer. This is what is being said by one of the top executives of the company, you guys. The lawsuit also claims that he referred to Indian employees as idiots who couldn't think for themselves and admitted to using marijuana edibles before work. This is absolutely insane, you guys. This is absolutely insane. Garza, the security analyst, he says he reported the recording to his supervisor in January of 2025, and then 20 days later, he was fired. His lawsuit accuses Campbell's of retaliation and maintaining a racially hostile work environment. Now, Campbell's, they have responded.
What did it say?
What do you think they said, Ben?
It was all a lie?
What would you say?
Oh, if I was the PR right now.
Yes, if you was the PR for Campbell's, what would you say after one of your top executives said that the soup is made for poor people and they have 3D chicken? Yes, what would you say to fix this mess?
That was AI. That recording was AI. Okay, all of it was just engineered. Okay, it was Suno.
They emailed
ChatGPT.
They responded in an email statement and said, if the recording is legitimate, the comments are unacceptable. They do not reflect our values and the culture of our company, and Mr. Bally is temporarily on leave while we conduct an investigation. The company also pushed back, though, on the claims about their ingredients. They said, quote, we are proud of the food that we make, the people who make it, and the high quality ingredients that we use. The comments on the recording are not only inaccurate, they are absurd.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are y'all using the 3D meat or not?
Oh my God.
Like, that's what, because I'm not gonna lie to you, the last time I had some chicken noodle soup, bro, from Campbell's, it didn't taste the same.
I swear to
taste
God.
how it used to back in the early 2000s.
Back in the day.
When you had to add a little girl wanting a Campbell's soup, and then the little kid rolled all the way to her house for the ravioli. It did not taste the same. It didn't taste the same.
Nah,
so what's going on?
Nah, Juice. I believe everything that they said in that response is a lie. Okay, I believe the response is a lie. I believe the vice president 100,000%. Okay, because it's these dudes out here who are feel that they are the upper echelon of the rest of us or whatever, and they're like, hell, I would never eat Campbell's. There's people who work at McDonald's that at the very top would say, I will never eat McDonald's. It's funny that all these people who are at the top of these big corporations or products that we use say they never use the product.
Right, or kids or parents and stuff who work for MPS and never put their kids in MPS schools. That's very telling.
Very telling. It's very telling, man. So ultimately, look, I agree. I believe this vice president, he probably should have said those types of things because he got fired. At the same time, the truth came out, and we need to know. To be honest with y'all, 10 years ago, it's probably like the last time I ate Campbell's soup, and it's really what inspired me to make my own soups, okay? Juice has had my soups many of times. How are they, Juice?
I ain't gonna lie, Ben makes some fire soup. He do. And you had like what, a little dumpling in, I think?
Ooh, last time I hooked it up. Yeah, I put a little dumpling in there.
The shrimp in there and stuff.
Yeah, that's my chicken shrimp dumpling soup.
The healthiest thing he's ever made in his life was that soup.
Okay, now I digress. Okay, I was trying to, I wanted you to hype me up a little bit. But no, and then again, when I've tasted the soup last time, I just knew something was off because I used to really eat Campbell's soup as a kid. Like I had this one, the chunky soup that they used to come out with was one of my favorites. Had the egg noodle in there.
Chunky.
Hey, that's a good question. I think it was all the foods that was in there because you could get an egg noodle, some chicken, some celery, some carrots would be in there, some potatoes.
Nah, but it would be a little creamy though.
It would be some creamy.
Like I need to know what's in that little creamy gravy that y'all got up in there.
And see, the thing is, it's just you got to really watch out, man, because I'm certain that if Campbell's is already 3D printing their chicken and beef and all these other things inside their soups, who's to say that the other producers and manufacturers aren't doing the same thing?
That's what I'm saying, man.
Because look, 2026 is about to be here, right? And yeah, 2025, the tariff thing had happened, but we're truly not supposed to see the effects. We, the real people, the people at the bottom, aren't supposed to see the real effects and repercussions of that tariff hit until next year. But as you can see and tell throughout all these big manufacturers and producers, they are finding different ways to cut down on their ingredients, cut down on their products, and save themselves money. And I've seen it in different products that I've already I purchased many a times, whether it was a Pepsi that I had last week, because I will tell you guys, I had another Pepsi can.
From there?
Not from that place, no. I went to a Speedway. I went to the Speedway and because you know Pepsi will give you the big tall can Pepsis. I grabbed one of those or whatever. This is different. You know, don't you find this suspicious? You know, so all I'm saying is it wasn't really necessarily that JJ's Chicken and Fish that I went to. It's these companies, these big wig companies that are cutting down on their ingredients, cutting down on their products to still sell you stuff, but ultimately for themselves to save money. Even my toilet paper that I use, the Bamboo Real toilet paper, they've cut down on the way they decide to manufacture and produce what they got going on. So there's a lot of different companies doing this, and you guys need to keep your head on a swivel and really look at all these places that you're buying products from, because I guarantee you, by the time of summer of 2026 happens, a lot of the things that we had grown accustomed to, it will all be stripped of what of the originality that we knew it wants to be.
No,
I
facts,
guarantee
for
you.
sure. I agree with Travis the Matrix. I be saying this all the time, but he said, I'm saying the world is too big to have all this meat inside of these stores for it not to be cloned meat. And I say that all the time. I'm like, how is every place able to have chicken wings? Like, how many chickens is really being produced out here where we able to have every store? You can find it in the corner stores.
Yeah, they
you
got
can
chicken
find
wings
the little
here, chicken
side
wings
plates.
there.
It's
Right.
always somebody selling some chicken wings or some fish.
That's real.
And I'm just not believing that it's all what it's supposed to be and it's all real. And they be different sizes. It just is like, it's just weird today. It is 100% weird. Everything is being recalled. You don't know if you're coming or going when it comes to this food. So it's almost safer to just start making your own food. Like,
as much as you can.
Growing it, though.
Yeah.
Growing your food.
As much as you can, man, because I know everybody, again, Thanksgiving is here. They're still outside buying their groceries, getting the turkeys for Thanksgiving. I saw a butterball turkey, right? I saw a butterball turkey. And the butterball turkey, obviously, you know, you're going through the meat section, it's frozen. This thing looked like it at least weighed 40 pounds. All right, and I'm talking about big ass legs, big breast, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, dog, this is not real, bro. This is not real food. You know, that's why when, you know, foreigners come here, they look at our food and they know what the real food it's supposed to look like back in their country. They be like, man, this is why Americans are sick.
All I'll say to you know, go to the next thing with something you say is, from a PR standpoint, let me give you some advice, Campbell's, what y'all need to do right now in order to save your company. Because right now we out here looking at y'all like this is crazy. You need to document the journey of showing the process of how you are creating your food, and you need to go on like a health kick with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, show
health marketing.
Yes, like market it like it's something healthy and show why it's healthy and show where it's coming from and that you have nothing to hide. Because then now you're kind of rebranding it in a sense. Like, hey, this isn't something for poor people. This is something to make you feel better. This is something to, you know, just be healthier for you. But show the journey, show the behind the scenes process of how you guys are picking what's going in it and all of the things. Because if you don't do that, people are going to look at you crazy. But that's just what I think about it.
Okay, Juice, that PR idea may be able to save the company, but will it be able to save the people from the company?
What do you mean?
Because you will know, you know just as well as I know when it comes down to media and marketing, that in media, you can make anything look like anything.
I'm saying be honest with it, though.
Be honest about our 3D printers right here with the chicken net.
No, I'm saying show if it's not the 3D printers. Now, if it really is being printed, then I don't know what to tell you.
That's what I'm talking about.
If it truly is being printed, I don't know what to tell you about that.
Like, this is why I say we need a new Mr. Rogers of our generation, man. Mr. Rogers was one of my favorite shows as a kid. I remember one of my favorite episodes used to be when Mr. Rogers used to take his little train, and then he would be like, oh, hey, kids, we're finna go on a journey to Kellogg's. And Kellogg's is finna show us how they make cereal. You know, do something like that. You know, find find some YouTuber, maybe your boy being Jammin, maybe carrying on juice, and we'll really do the real investigating. Because you ain't finna just have me doing video at your factory when you really do got a 3D printer over here that's printing out all these chickens.
But that's what I'm saying. They have to show the process. Show the process if you don't have nothing to hide. That's all I'm saying.
I say this, and I ain't gonna lie. This is really legitimately what I first thought of when this Campbell soup idea had happened. We don't got no time. We don't got nobody coming after us. All right. But the first thing that I thought of,
Jesus, I want to turn this music off.
the first thing,
Jesus Christ.
the first thing that I thought of, Juice, was the fact that this is the opportunity for somebody who does make their own soups to come up in the game. All right, come up in the game and rebrand and take over what Campbell's has brought up, because obviously they have taken advantage of the public's trust inside of their brand Campbell's.
Well,
it has brought so many people full bellies throughout the years.
What?
A lot of people have eaten. I told you, I came up off of eating Campbell's a lot of times.
Right.
Like, so that was my thing. But I would suggest that any entrepreneur out there who wants to make their own soups strike right now and market the hell out of it. You could potentially market yourself as the real ingredient soup, you know. And honestly, in times like this is where the most millionaires come up anyway. You know, when the economy's going down, we figure out something cheap to make or whatever, but then we sell it in the stores. Just like the story of a ragu and in the story of Prego. You know, the Prego sauces and ragu sauces. Campbell soup just the same. They came up in the Great Depression. Seems like to me we may be going through one right now. If you have an idea to make a soup, strike right now and market the hell out of it. You can be the next Campbell's. And I'll leave it at that.
I'll just say that the ones that's in competition right now with Campbell's, y'all better use this for your own marketing.
Progresso.
Like, you know how it used to be McDonald's beefing with Burger King and like on social media and stuff, or Wendy's beefing with who at Arby's.
That'd be hard, yeah.
Like, start a whole marketing campaign pretty much showing how you're the better option for people to choose your soups. You know, because you got to hit them when they weak. And right now, Campbell's is being looked at as the weaker being right now.
Yeah.
So take advantage of that and utilize it to your advantage if you have a better soup out there, whether you are an entrepreneur and you want to start making soups, or if you're already one out there that has people purchasing it. I think it's another one in like a red can. I forgot what it's called.
Progresso.
Yeah, Progresso.
Yep.
Progresso, if you're listening, you better figure it out right now. Yeah. All right, you guys. So the last something juicy that I have, I'm not even about to get into it right now because I'm going to utilize it in our main conversation that we're having, because I think it would help me prove somewhat of a point. But today we are going to be talking about Juelz Santana.
Santana.
Yes, Juelz Santana. He is a rapper. Yeah, sing some of his songs, Ben. What did he sing or rap? I feel like an old person. What did he sing?
Rap? I Can't Feel My Face. That one with him and Lil Wayne.
And see, this is what I'm talking about, because we can't even really think of the Juelz Santana song right now.
I'm thinking about his singles.
We
and stuff.
say hi, no lie. Who's that? Ballin'. Who's that? Bullet. Oh. I thought he was on it.
I think Juelz did have a verse on it.
Yeah, he had a verse on it.
But Juelz Santana was definitely a promising hip hop figure back in like the early 2000s.
Yes.
Mid-2000s.
Well, right now he is currently being criticized, which I feel like we're about to do here. But he is currently being criticized right now because he was on a podcast from the No Funny-ish show, and he was saying that he believes it's more important for children to know math than to know how to read. This is what he said. Do you have the clip in?
Oh, let's do it. Let's ride. Let's do it. So wait, so to say it again?
Say what?
For the people at home?
Yeah, he said that you don't have to know how to read. You just need to know math. Okay. And he was on this podcast, and that is what he wanted to say. And people are criticizing him for it currently right now, because they're like, this is why our educational system looks the way it looks, because we have adults like this who believe this type of stuff, and it just doesn't help anybody. So let's hear what Mr. Juelz Santana had to say on this interview. They got the audio.
How to. But they don't really need to know how to read.
Wait, stop. Wait,
I ain't gonna say that. I say that respectfully. I'm not saying that in a way to be illiterate, because you're not supposed to be illiterate, but you can.
What's more important, reading or math?
Math.
Told you.
Math. I think you could listen to a book on YouTube. You can still obtain the information.
And
You don't
not
have to know how to
understand.
read. That's
Thank
not
you,
reading and
Els.
understanding. I believe common sense is better than everything. I'm a common sense nigga. I'd rather have zero book smarts and common sense, be able to read the room, be able to read life, be able to read people. I try to understand people, understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, nowadays, you can listen to a book. I just listen to the 48 Laws of Power, not to.
You gotta
could
read
listen.
your contract, Els.
You don't have to
You can
understand
listen
it,
to
though,
that
but if
too.
you-
They got apps you could put it in and it'll read it to you. Are you crazy? Huh? It probably will. AI will now. That's what I'm saying. That's how freaky
You don't
it
have to
is.
read. Shit
You gotta
gets beat
you
told
know,
to
you
you.
know, it'll be so.
Just
I'm
no
not saying
math.
that in a bad way. Like you don't need
gotta
to know how to
them
read.
anyway.
Wow,
Yeah, so,
that's so crazy. I feel bad for Juelz.
it would have been you.
What are you talking about?
I'm gonna get into why it would have been you, but yeah, people are criticizing him because he's pretty much saying like, listen, y'all, after 9th grade, I don't think the kids need to necessarily, like, they read enough. They need to be more focused on math so they can know financial literacy, so they can have businesses and know how to run those. And he's pretty much saying math is a little bit more important than reading is. And I don't feel for him. I don't feel for him. You want to know why I don't feel for him? You want to know why, Ben?
Talk to me.
I don't.
Is it because he's a black man and black man's
No.
feelings don't matter? His mental health does not matter? Is that
No,
why?
I don't feel for him because he had the same ignorant comment that you had a couple months ago.
What are you talking about, bro? Huh?
And I heard this and I said, oh, another one out here who
Nah,
believes
bro.
that being illiterate
You
is
cannot
cool.
conflate the two. Do not conflate the two.
How?
Okay.
Actually, I give him more credit because he at least said 9th grade. You said 5th or 6th, bro.
I said.
What'd
Do you
you
want to go to
say?
break first?
There is no break.
Okay,
Remember?
whatever. Okay, no,
So-
you got it.
so
You
keep
got
going.
it. Look, what I said a few months ago, and I still stand on this. All right, I said that I truly do not believe that children should be learning English, like taking English classes, if that is not like their full, if that is not their full, if that's not their like path of what they're trying to do in their life, I think they should learn it up to 6th grade and then go on and venture off. That's English. Now, I never said they shouldn't learn how to read. Okay,
well,
reading is fundamental. You
But
need to learn
Ben,
how to read.
Do you understand that you're contradicting yourself with that?
That is not a contradiction. You
No,
are
it is.
conflating the two.
No,
You are mixing
no,
the two
no,
ideas
no.
together.
What do you think the curriculum is for people in English classes? What is the curriculum? What do they do?
I can't tell you the curriculum because right now,
What did you do?
I'm not in school, but however, by the time I got to high school and we were learning in English class, it's more so of learning different structures and formats of writing. So if you're looking for an idea of, hey, this is the way you should write a thesis paper, then you're writing the thesis paper this way. If this is the way that you're writing from point of view, if you want to write from point of view, this is how you write from this perspective. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about, hey, I don't believe that we should continue to learn English classes if we already understand the language that we speak. We should, from the 6th grade on, learn other languages. I'm down for that. Learn Spanish, learn some Chinese, aka Mandarin. I would suggest to learn those types of ideas to expand the brain a bit more, because it goes to show that once you know more than one language, you actually are considered a lot smarter than the rest of the world. Most people in America only know one language.
From what you're saying right now, I have so many questions, man. I truly do. I have so
Reading
many
is
questions.
essential. You need to learn how to read.
But that's what the English classes consist of. Like,
all
you're not
classes consist of reading after you know the language.
Ben.
You're going to read.
Nobody is in the 6th, 7th, 8th grade learning English words, bro. Like,
How
they
not?
have-
What are you
they
talking
have
about?
learned
You-
it
you-
already. After
What are you talking
after
about? You
you're
are
in,
speaking
like,
English in the
bro.
6th grade.
Yes, you're speaking it, but they're not teaching you how to necessarily speak it. You already know how to speak
What
it
are you
because
talking
it's
about?
your native tongue.
So this is exactly what I'm talking about.
English classes, and why they're important is because they teach you how to fundamentally do things when it comes to reading and when it comes to literature. That's why when you get into high school, most of your English classes are you reading different types of literature and you're breaking it down so you know how to comprehend. That's the next level of English. Nobody is in high school learning how to speak English. Like Anita said, English and language are different things. Now, I don't know what type of school you went to, but when I was in school, we had English classes, literature classes, and we could also take another language. Like, they're not the same. They're not the same. So I'm just trying to understand which one you're saying that people don't need anymore.
Again,
The language.
I believe
class?
we're going to continue to learn the English language for the entire time we're here in America. We're going to use it, right? Just as almost as much as we're going to use air. So we will understand how to speak to one another. When it comes down to different forms of writing, if you feel like, hey, you know what, 6th, 7th grade or whatever, you know what, I want to stick and stay in English courses, for sure, you should go ahead and learn how to read and write and figure out different structures and formats. However, I think you're kind of wasting your time if you're not going to understand other people's languages and understand how to write in their language, or start to expand your horizons and expand your mind. Like, English is not even the most used language across the world. It's truly Mandarin. So why are we taking time and courses to learn Mandarin languages?
But you're just talking about the language being.
I'm talking about the language. I'm talking about writing it, because you're going to learn how to write English just by you being here. You're going to learn how to write English. Maybe not write a whole essay. And who's to even say 10, 20 years from now, because of the advances in AI, that kids right now aren't even going to know how to write like that? Should it be a skill that they should have?
Ben.
Go ahead, talk to me.
I don't even know what to say to you. I'm gonna be
You feel like I'm lost out here?
Bro, I really do. Like, I'm really concerned, bro. Because you're acting like people can't take a secondary language. Like, reading and writing is 100% fundamental. That's why you got so many people today who in their 20s who trying to find a job and they don't even know how to write a cover letter, bro. Like, it's very important that they know what's going on and they know how to comprehend the world around them and comprehend certain literatures, comprehend certain contracts that they have to sign. Like, I don't get why you're saying that should stop. And I'm not saying that that's not important. What I'm saying is, you're saying it should stop.
I'm saying you should figure out something else with your life at some point in time when you're in your school years. Because look, most people, just how you just put that example out there right now, right? There's a lot of people out here who aren't focused on, hey, I'm gonna have to write out this whole entire essay, or I'm going to have to write out this thesis paper, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of people who don't have to do that anymore. Just as so much as, like, you know, when we had to learn cursive. When I was in school, we had to learn cursive. Cursive isn't even a thing anymore. These kids don't even know how to write in cursive anymore. I feel like it is a lost art, however, but at the same time, this is a new world for them. So in their new world, they're going to be using computers to write out these whole contracts and things like that. Now, should they be able to know how to read these contracts, understand these contracts, and comprehend them? For sure. However, I believe you could actually learn that as you go through using and articulating the English language. That's just how I feel about it. If you're going to be using it, why can't I take time to understand other things?
I don't understand how your brain works. And it's got me wondering, like, what type of English classes you took growing up? Like, was they trying to teach you how to speak in, like, 9th grade?
That is crazy.
No, I'm legitimately asking.
I feel like you are
legitimately asking you. That's a real question. Like, what type of English and that's why I said, what type of English curriculum did you have where you keep talking about the language and not the art form of actually knowing how to write and read past 6th grade?
And that's okay. So, Juice, I think what you're focused on, because you have a background in journalism, you're thinking about all the writing.
It's not just me, bro.
Okay, it's not just you. It's a group of people out there just like you, right? I think that what you're thinking about it as, you're thinking about it from a standpoint of, you know what, if this is going to be the course that you're going to take for your life, then I should have to learn all of these things. I believe that if, for instance, if I was your principal, right? If I was your principal, you went to jamming school.
I would never.
You went to jamming school,
I
right?
would never go to your school.
You went to jamming PS.
You gonna have me in a Montessori school learning about rocks. That's what you gonna have me learning about.
If you want to go and learn geography and things of that nature, then yeah, geographical properties for sure. That's what we're going to learn about, because that's more than likely going to be the skills that you can, you already possess to be a prize productive member and a citizen out here in the world. Like, I would definitely encourage you to do those things. Not to say that you shouldn't know how to read, because reading is fundamental. You need to know how to read.
It's levels though, right?
It is levels to reading. That's why that's why some people only learn reading at 4th grade reading level, or 8th grade reading level, or even a 10th grade reading level. What I would actually say is that all the things that we are talking about right now, when it comes down to reading and writing up to a 12th grade level, I'm certain that we can learn those things even earlier on. And you might be like, oh no, I don't think a kid can. And if a kid couldn't, why do we already have kids that are able to graduate college at the age of 13, at the age of 9, at the age of 10? It's because their parents have been on them and they have learned something that the other kids out there just haven't. All right, and haven't even because a lot of times in American school society, whatever, we just kind of float our kids through. We don't actually make certain that they are, we don't feed them the knowledge that they actually truly need is all I'm saying. But when it comes down to reading and writing, I truly believe that you can learn the English language throughout the tenure of your lifespan here in America. You can even learn how to read and write up until the point of like being 6th grade or whatever. And like I said before, I think you should at that point start to put other things on your mind to learn how to read and write in other languages. So you are forced to not only just use your English lexicon, but you can also use a Mandarin. You can also speak French. And I'm talking about learn those things just as much as you know the English language, just because it'll expand your brain that much more versus you just only thinking in English terms. That's how I feel about it. I'm not talking about it. That's what I'm saying. You're conflating the two. This dude's talking about they shouldn't even know how to read. Okay, I'm all down for reading. Reading is fundamental. I love the 48 Laws of Power. He probably didn't even read the 48 Laws of Power. He listened to audiobooks. Okay, and an audiobook is one thing, but I don't believe that's actually really exercising your.
But you learn that through English class. That's why I'm like, what you're saying doesn't make any sense because you're almost agreeing with him by saying that people don't need to know how to read past 6th grade.
I'm not agreeing with this gentleman. This dude said you shouldn't even know how to read. If I went on here,
play the clip again.
If I went on here, okay, I'll run it back. But if I went on here and said that y'all should know how to read, then you shouldn't even know how to read these damn comments.
But no,
okay?
what you're saying, but you don't understand that what you're saying is basically saying that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
See, when you throw little terms out there, is basically no. You have to understand exactly what being.
That's what people are interpreting. So you better find a new way to interpret it, like for people to understand what you're saying.
Just financial wealth and literacy and all that. That shit early, because by the time they get to 9th grade, they should be just learning how to start businesses and how to. But they don't really need to know how to read.
Wait, stop.
I ain't gonna say that. I say that respectfully. I'm not saying that in a way to be literate, because you're not supposed to be illiterate, but you can.
What's more important, reading or math?
Math.
Told you.
Math. I think you could listen to a book on YouTube. You can still obtain the information. You don't have to know how to read. That's not reading and understanding. I believe common sense is better than everything. I'm a common sense nigga. I'd rather have 0 book smarts and common sense, be able to read the room, be able to read life, be able to read people. I try to understand people, you know what I'm saying? Like, nowadays, you can listen to a book. I just listen to the 48 Laws of Power.
You gotta read your contract, Els.
You don't have to
you can listen to that too. They got apps you can put it in and it'll read it to you.
You crazy, man. Why you crazy like this, bro? Look,
because y'all are one and the same. It's pretty much
really
what I'm saying. Y'all are one and the same. He always talk about the 48 Laws of Power. He pretty much is saying, like, after 9th grade, math is more important than reading because you could just use audiobooks. This is what essentially you are saying, Ben, and you don't even realize it.
Juice, I'm not saying
okay,
this.
In the chat right now, if you're paying attention to what the conversation is right now about Juelz Santana saying that kids don't necessarily need to know how to read, am I tripping that Ben is saying literally the same thing? That's why I wanted to bring this up, because you were saying like, oh no, Juelz Santana is tripping, bro. I don't know what he's talking about. But essentially you're saying the same thing. You are saying the same thing.
I'm saying, I've been said that reading is essential. This gentleman said reading is not essential. In fact, math is more important.
But how do you learn how to read if you stop learning English in 6th grade?
You've already learned how to read. Now expand upon that, right? Expand.
How?
Okay. Continue to read. Like, I've never said that you shouldn't read. That's what I'm saying. You keep on conflating.
Okay, if you're only knowing how to read at a 6th grade level, how do you expect to learn how to read more complicated literature?
you can still learn how to read as long as you know these words, bro. Like as long as you have a word,
You're
like as long
talking
as you know
about the
vocabulary.
language.
Yes, for sure. Go ahead and read and pick up a book. That's how you expand your mind. That's how you expand your intellect. Like you can do those types of things knowing the English language. And that's all I've ever said. I said, hey, I don't think we should just be teaching the English language after 6th grade.
But
I think we should
nobody
teach
does
more.
that.
I think we
what
should
I'm
teach
saying.
more.
Nobody is teaching English in high school to know the language of English. That's what I'm saying. What type of classes were you in Racine where they still teaching
What
you
type of
the
classes
English?
was you in?
They're still teaching you the English language past like 3rd grade.
What type of classes were you in?
I went to very good schools.
Yeah, because when we sit back
I
and
went
have
to the
these,
top MPS schools here in the city.
When we
every
had-
single time. I went to Golda Meir, I went to Samuel Morris Middle School, and I went to Rufus King High School. Okay, I had the trilogy. You know what I'm saying? The trilogy of the top schools here in Milwaukee. So that's what I'm trying to just figure out, understand what classes you were in where they was teaching you the English language past like 3rd grade.
I think where we're having this uproar at,
Bro,
or this, is the idea that
I'm not tripping, y'all. Please tell me I'm not tripping.
I think you're tripping.
I'm not tripping,
because I don't think
bro.
you're really hearing what I'm saying. I
don't
think
think
you're hearing
you're
what you want to
hearing
hear.
what
I think you're hearing to react. You're not hearing to listen.
No, this is what you're saying. Everyone is hearing this right now.
Okay, whatever. Man.
You sound the same. And so Benjamin and myself was getting into it earlier this morning about the 48 Laws of Power.
Because she always judged that book by the cover.
But
like for real.
y'all, for you to read that book and to think how you think, and for Juelz Santana to read that book and think how he thinks, I don't think it's a book I need to read.
Look, honestly, he's a bad example, man.
I don't think it's a book that I need to read. If that's what that book got y'all thinking like.
Juelz Santana is a bad example.
You was reading that in 6th grade?
I definitely didn't read it in 6th grade.
Why? You didn't have a language?
I didn't even know about the book in 6th grade. Or else I probably would have picked it up.
Jesus.
For real. But at the same time, now, 48 Laws of Power is a great book. I suggest any and everybody to read the book. The audio book is okay, but to actually, retain the information that's in there, I would say read the book so you can understand the stories and apply them to your real life. That's what I would suggest. Juice, when it comes down to this book, because she believes that this book has so many different toxic masculinity ideas in there, she believes the book is evil. That's just what it is.
I wouldn't even say it's because of toxic masculinity. I would just say it's because of wrongful manipulation.
She believes the book is manipulative.
It is. It's a manipulative book. You don't think so?
I don't believe it's manipulative.
Do y'all think the 48 Laws of Power is manipulative? Put a W in the chat if you think that 48 Laws of Power is manipulative. If you've read it. If you're on his frequency.
I wouldn't say that it's manipulative in the ways. It just depends on who's using it. Who's using it. And at the end of the day, if we're being honest about the term manipulation, like for real, human beings, we are an innately manipulative species on this planet. We are one of the only species on this planet that are able to manipulate our environment all around us. You manipulated this whole entire room. You know what I'm saying? So it all comes. Now it's going over here. Was I manipulative? Did I do this? Yeah.
So you're saying manipulate is the same as create?
In a sense, yeah. God manipulated this whole entire time, space, earth, and everything to create the. You're
right. Manipulate can. Let me look. No, before I say you're right,
there you
I'm
go.
Gonna
Look
look
it up.
What does manipulate mean?
Because it comes with a bad connotation. Connotation.
Right. So you're saying the word itself is not negative. How you use it is negative.
There you go.
But what I'm saying is the book negatively uses manipulation.
What the book does is point out examples of manipulation or times that people have had to find ways to manipulate, and it ended up working out in their favor or against them. All right, so sometimes, the very first law in the 48 Laws of Power is never outshine the master. It speaks of a time where somebody who wanted to throw a big party. They wanted to throw a big old party for the king. However, when he threw the party, he ended up at the end of the party getting his head cut off because basically the king felt like he had stepped on his toes. So it's one of them things like, sure, he did manipulate the idea of creating this big old party or whatever. However, he made somebody feel some type of way. So it teaches you ideas of human behavior and how humans behave in certain situations when you may outshine them. That's rule number one.
I agree. Okay, well, the rest are crazy too. I agree with Anita. She said ban the book. If we gonna ban any book, ban the 48 Laws of Power. But I looked up manipulation.
All right.
And Why you sound like that, bro? You're not feeling it.
You got it.
You
G.
about to rethink your whole
got
life
it, bro.
when you live, bro.
You
Like,
got it,
dang,
bro.
do we still need to read? Am I thinking like Juelz Santana? Okay, so manipulation. It's two definitions of it. So one is the action of manipulating something in a skillful manner. So like you were talking about with God and stuff. The second one is the action of manipulating someone in a clever or unscrupulous way. And I had to look up what is unscrupulous. And unscrupulous is having or showing no morals, principles, not honest or fair.
Right.
So technically,
that's
the
definitely
definition of it, one of the definitions of it is
so it can
negative.
be either or type stuff.
Yeah, so that's why I said I feel like the 48 Laws of Power can be a manipulative type of book, you know. And if you want to read it, you can read it, but I just don't think it's something that I necessarily would want to read. But I want to keep going when I'm talking about this Juelz Santana situation, because it was another something juicy that I was going to bring up that I feel like has to do with it just a little bit, and it has to do with just podcast hosts. And people are hearing what Juelz Santana had to say about kids not needing to know how to read. They can just listen to audiobooks and yada yada yada. I will agree that he was a little bit more far gone than what you said, Ben. I can say that. Like, it was if it's levels to it, he was on the far level. You were on like the middle, you know, with what you said about not needing English after 6th grade. But with what he said, I think he was, you know, he was teetering the line towards like a 10 of, boy, you tripping, you know what I'm saying? But with his comments, people are like, this is why you don't need to give everybody a podcast mic. This is why you don't need to have any and everybody up in your interview space or interviewing them, because they could say things that are just crazy and outrageous like this, right? But there's another podcast host that's currently being talked about right now who they're saying they need to take his mic. And you know who I'm talking about?
Not at all.
Do you know who Ish is from the Joe Budden podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Ish?
What are you talking about?
Ish is currently under fire as well for something that he said on a podcast. And so in a recent episode of the Joe Budden podcast, they were talking about sex offenders registry. And Ish had a very strong opinion when it comes to the sex offenders registry. So when they were on the topic as a group, they were breaking down how the sex offender list works, and they used the cover art for Kendrick Lamar's hit Not Like Us as an example, because if you guys don't know, the cover art for that is of, what was that, Drake's house with all of like the sex offender people on it. Crazy, right? The co-host Ish, he shared that he believes that checking the sex offender list is some Karen-ish. He said it's Karen to check the sex offender list. And when they asked him why he said that, he said, "It's my opinion, bro. I think that we pick and choose what things are important to us and we stand on that. I just think that. So dudes running around a drug enterprise next door is cool, but you want to, you know, lay the law down on the person that is a sex offender in the community, but you're not running it up on these drug dealers and these crack houses that's literally on your same block."
Yeah.
Mark Lamont Hill, shout out to Mark Lamont Hill. I met him at NABJ.
Oh, you met Buddy?
I took a picture with him and everything. He was
very
really
cool
nice.
dude. Yeah.
He is on the podcast as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he went on to say, yes, we pick and choose. If my neighbor is selling weed, I don't care. If he's molesting kids, I care because I got kids. And Ish, to be clear, we're not calling the police on him. I'm saying if he's a registered sex offender, I want to know. So when you out here trick-or-treating, you know not to go to his house. And so I get where he's coming from, you know, saying that, listen, if you have drug dealers on your block, you might just look at it like, oh, I got some drug dealers on my block. But if you got a sex offender and a child molester in your community, you need to be knowing that too. So all I'm saying is people are saying that some of these hosts don't need to have podcast mics. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that. Not everybody needs a microphone. Not everybody needs a platform. But I would agree more so with Mark Lamont Hill. I think how Ish had presented the conversation, the idea was a little bit lackluster because because basically what he's saying is, look, if you're gonna have that same energy for a sex offender, have the same energy for that local drug dealer that you know. And I can agree with that sentiment. But obviously, you know, we have a child registered sex offender registry list for a reason, because messing around with kids is straight up taboo. So if I can look somebody up, it does not make me a Karen. It makes me somebody who's trying to make sure that my city is protected. All right. And then we don't have a Chester the molester living around the corner from us.
Yeah, I would agree that both offenses are bad. I don't think you can compare the two.
Right.
But looking up who's on the sex offender list definitely is not something a Karen, like it's not a Karen thing to do. Like it's something that you should do, especially if you have children.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, you know, it would be.
I do think to protect the community, we also need to try to get these drug dealers off the streets. But
I can agree with that.
I feel like because everybody around us kind of know, I was going to say because everybody around us kind of knows who a drug dealer is, right? You know,
I don't know what a drug dealer is. I have no idea.
You know
no
who some people might be. You know, like you've seen it. I think I've
seen it in movies.
I'm just saying it's been part of our communities to the point where we have normalized the fact that we might have drug dealers on our blocks. That's all I'm saying. But when it comes to like a sex offender, it's like, oh no, I'm gonna make sure that ain't no kids going in that area or is around that person or whatever it is. We also need to protect our communities in other ways as well, to like try to get the drug dealers up off of the street and protect them in that way. So I would say both are interesting points, but I don't think you can necessarily compare the two. Both are things that as a society and as a community you should try to get rid of or just be aware of and know how to like kind of fix in a sense.
No, yeah, I agree. And maybe you know, everybody just need to be registered. You know, shoot, if you was a drug dealer, a drug offender, maybe you need to be on the registered drug offender list, just so we know if you got good drugs or not.
Why would they be good?
I'm just saying.
You say good drugs. I've never heard someone like
you might have good drugs.
Describe it that way. Good drugs for whom?
Was your drugs laced with fentanyl? Like, I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago, we didn't get a chance to talk about this because the show wasn't up yet. But you know the gentleman who, it was like the white dude who they had caught because it was an FBI police raid happening from like Kenosha to Racine in Milwaukee, and the white dude went on to go say, he's like, man, you know, I wasn't really selling anything too much. I mean, maybe it was just a little cocaine. That's all. You know, I wonder if he had the good drugs, because they didn't really care about this guy.
No, because he was just a snitch.
You think he flipped on everybody?
I think he needs to be in protective services.
That's what I said too. Because I was like, bro, he definitely told them everything. He told them everything they needed to know without having to get the McDonald's bag. You know what I'm saying? No,
facts. It was crazy. It's just crazy, y'all. Mm-hmm. But that pretty much wraps up my portion or our portion of the convo. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to save it for my drop of juice. But I think right now, do you want to hear from our sponsors real quick before we go to the rabbit hole? Or which one you want to do? Or do you want to tease your rabbit hole and then hear from the sponsors?
Okay, we can tease the rabbit hole, then we'll hear from our sponsors. I think it's time for us to go down the rabbit hole.
We're going to go down the rabbit hole.
All right, so Juicy Jammers, if you don't know what a rabbit hole is, it is a piece of information you find on the internet or experience in real life that takes you from one piece of information you find to another, up until your curiosity is satisfied. And today, Juicy Jammers, we could talk about how, you know, and I guess even when we were talking about, you know, the idea of drug dealers and the idea of sex offenders, how we should really put them on the same, like, pedestal. Like, if we got that energy for sex offenders, child sex offenders, we should have the same energy for basically anybody who's committing crimes out here in our community, so we can separate the real from the fake. Yes. You know what I'm saying? In this scene,
his delivery was really off, and then he stood 10 toes on it, so it's like,
yeah, for real. So, but in the same context, I read this yesterday, and I was like, damn, this is really telling. But we could talk about this, how King James was a homosexual, a pedophile.
King James whom? King James whom? King James whom?
The Bible.
Okay.
In the Bible, King James was a homosexual, a pedophile, and had sex with his mother. Much worse than R. Kelly, but we still read his Bible. We could talk about that. All right, we could talk about that. But no, today, Juicy Jammers, we're going to talk about a question that I have. And that question is, would you clone your pet if you could? Would you clone yourself if you could? That technology may just be here right around the corner. But before we get to that, we're going to hear a word from our sponsors over at Allstate.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm thick-cut bacon sizzling on your stove. And while you were over there smearing your bagel, This little piggy went on a splatter spree. And if you don't have the right home insurance coverage, you'll be crying wee, wee, wee over this fire in your home. So get Allstate.
Contact Milwaukee Allstate agent Cindy Johnson today at 414-445-2558.
Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Now we're back. Okay, we're back,
I didn't
y'all.
hear us say it.
Nah, they ain't hear
Dang.
that. It's all good. It's all good, man. And this is actually really funny because normally
And we're back. Is what he said, because I thought that was funny.
And
I
we're
needed to
back.
hear you say that.
Nah, for real. So with that being said, Juicy Jammers, you guys already know how I would normally set this up, but because how we're doing this today, this is how I'm gonna do it. So today, Juicy Jammers, we could talk about that, what I said beforehand, right? I could talk about how
30
King
seconds
James.
ago. Before a word from our sponsors.
Right, before a word from our sponsors, right? We could talk about that. However, no, we're going to talk about a question I have. And that question is the idea of cloning your pets, right? Cloning your pets. Now, when we talk about these types of things, it always seems like it's sci-fi, all right? It seems like it's a sci-fi type of idea. And for me, it was. So that's actually where this rabbit hole started. For me, it legitimately started. Don't be kicking my feet, man.
Was that your foot?
That was my foot, bro.
I'm sorry.
So no, this idea for me started off with really when I was just a kid, seeing movies, sci-fi movies, whether it was The Terminator, whether it was Face Off, all these types of things always alluded to the idea of cloning being a real thing. And then I remember in the year of 1997, it aired on TV the first time I've ever seen an actual clone happen, right? And they had cloned a sheep. I was like, Ma, they cloned a sheep. And it seemed still crazy at that point. Like, okay, they may have cloned a sheep back then, but are they doing it today? And then I stumbled upon a Netflix documentary called The Clone King. All right, you guys go ahead and watch this thing all on Netflix if you like. But they talk about the idea of cloning, and basically the gentleman ended up being able to clone real people over in Asia. All right, now as unethical as it is and sounds, people like celebrities that we know of use this thing to this day right now on their pets. And I just want to know, would y'all actually clone your pets just like these people do? So I'm about to take y'all down this rabbit hole real quick. Let's go.
You should put the desktop audio on first.
You know what? Thanks, Juice. There we go. Now it's time for us to go down the rabbit hole. All right, hold on. Let me get this audio right, y'all. Let me see.
On the clock. Let's go. Whitney and Mark shook the bar with a tick.
Oh, man. Now you got to log back in.
Videos, I tell you. Let you down. Hold on. I'm going to restart this thing, man.
Oh, no, bro.
Because this is how this joint started. Hold on.
You're going to have to start screen recording them and then just having them up, bro.
I guess.
That's why you need an iPhone. Somebody please tell Ben that he needs to upgrade his life and his mind and his systems and his routines and get an iPhone.
You know what? My next purchase will be an iPhone, Juice.
Will it really?
Yeah, it will be. Shoot, you don't know how many people be getting on me for an iPhone. Like even my niece was getting on my case this weekend.
You can't do things with an Android.
I was really upset.
Or can you screen record on an Android?
You actually can.
Well
but
then
that's the racist stuff I be talking about with y'all.
I'm just saying, it just makes life better.
Okay. Now it is time for us to go down the rabbit hole.
Diamond's clones.
Yep, Paris revealed her 2 new clone chihuahuas on Paris in Love.
I actually thought that was a great idea.
Barbara Streisand did it too.
I have 2 delicious babies.
Now this Hollywood trend is making more headlines after Tom Brady cloned his beloved pooch, Lua, who died in 2023. And now he has Junie.
We're not creating an exact copy of the animal that you lost.
Matt James is the chief animal officer of Colossal, the biotech company who cloned Tom's dog. Brady invested in the enterprise that's working to bring extinct species back to life.
Last April, we announced to the world that we brought the first species back from extinction. The dire wolf went extinct 12,500 years ago. In October 2024, 2 dire wolves entered the world for the first time in more than 12,000 years.
And now, through cutting-edge bioscience, They helped the goat clone his dog.
We can take skin cells or blood cells, take that nucleus, put it in the egg, that fertilizes the egg and creates an embryo. That embryo is then moved into a surrogate who gestates that for 63 days, and 63 days later, you have this beautiful puppy, Junie, born.
Streisand cloned her deceased dog twice, but told ITV they may look like her late little Sammy, but they're different.
The soul cannot be cloned.
Right.
Even the personality. They look exactly like Sammy.
Cloning is not Xeroxing. You don't get the same animal back.
Dr. Arthur Kaplan, Division of Medical Ethics, NYU Grossman School of Medicine, says there are major ethical issues with cloning pets.
There are so many animals, and to have a sort of high-cost specialty way to make a pet.
But despite approving of her daughter's decision, Kathy Hilton told us she's not ready to send in the clones for her own pets.
It's very expensive. I know that. So I think eventually, when the price comes down a little bit, I would love to.
It's about $50,000. It's not a cheap endeavor because it is cutting edge technology.
I think you'd be better off in a world overwhelmed with pets, so many being put to death. Give another animal a chance.
Wow. Wow. And that's really all I can say after watching that video, though, y'all. Because, you know, on one end, and this is really where this had, like, took me, after even watching and understanding they're cloning pets, is the idea of kind of what we were talking about before when it came down to Campbell's soup. It's like, you know, if Campbell's soup is already 3D printing meat, just know for a fact we've eaten and eaten clone meat at some point in our lifetimes already living here in America. But that's the end of my rabbit hole. Call in or hit the chat right now. Let us know how you feel. Would you ever go and clone your pet or clone yourself?
I think it's witchcraft.
Talk about it. Tell me about it. Why do you think it's witchcraft, bro?
I just don't think that that's something that you need to do. Like,
you don't think it's ethical, huh?
I don't think it's ethical. I don't think it's right for your brain. Like, I feel like you're crazy if you want to clone your dog. Because what's next? You want to clone your mom? Like, you want to clone a baby? You know, like, y'all not just going to stop at the animal. And I just feel like we have to learn how to let things go. Like, I'd be so sad when I think about how old Blaze is, bro. But I would never...
you clone Blaze, bro?
Huh?
Would you clone Blaze, bro?
Clone Blaze.
Why not,
Because Blaze is a once in a lifetime type of animal, and you're not gonna get, like, just like they said, you're not gonna get the same type of dog. Yeah, he might look the same, but how disrespectful is that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like where you think you can just replace your old dog with this new dog that looks just like it. Just get a new dog. Like, why do you have to clone it? That's just really weird to me.
Yeah.
And it just shows you that we got psychological issues going on in our brain, that we are feeling like that's even something that's okay to do, is to clone your dog. And I just think if I was the dog that died, I'd be like, oh, so you think that I was just nothing, huh?
Basically.
You think that you could just get another me and it ain't even gonna matter. Like, no, absolutely not. No, I don't agree with stuff like that. Or even how people like stuff their dogs and like keep them and stuff like that.
That stuff be creepy
weird.
as hell, bro.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I understand that it might hurt your heart that, you know, your loved one is gone because we look at them like our family members, but just let it go, bro. Just let it go. Enjoy the time that you had with them, mourn the time that you had with them, and appreciate the moments that you had with them, and either get another dog or have pictures. Like, that's weird.
You know, so on one end, I see how this could be a positive. On the other end, it's like you kind of said, though, Juice. It is,
Kyle.
You playing God. And Kay Wallace does have a point. You don't even take care of your dog right now.
My mom keeps Blaze, yes. But he's in my thoughts every day.
See, look, and I know the conversations that you and your mom have about Blaze, and literally, it's a telling scene.
What type of commentary do we have?
It just lets me know that you're really not a dog mom, how you probably try to portray to be.
I don't try to portray to be a dog mom. I always say that that's my little brother.
Okay,
so what's up?
You're really not a dog person like that then.
I'm a dog person. He don't live with me, bro.
Whatever. Neither here nor there. Okay, but when the idea of cloning, it just makes me know, like, for certain, that they've tried this on people at some point in time, and it hasn't came out yet that they've tried it on Americans, but it has been documented that they've done these types of things and this type of experimentation on South Korean women. All right, like I said, go ahead and watch the documentary. Yeah, it's a documentary out there on Netflix called like The King of Clones. It's an Asian dude who actually invented the whole system of cloning, the cloning idea, how they can take a skin cell or like a piece of your hair or whatever, put it inside of unfertilized egg, and have that unfertilized egg sit in some woman's reproductive system, you know, and it'll sit there, and then in 9 months from then, a baby will pop out with that same DNA of that person. Yeah, it's weird. It's the eugenics. You know, this is what people are currently doing, and I think it's going to only continue to go on as we continue to think about sciences of AI and all these other ideas. It's going to keep on growing, this science here. So that's really what I wanted to put out there, though. The idea of cloning, and the fact is that we've eaten cloned meat before. I just want to throw that out there.
I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if in like the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be a thing where they market. Because all I got to do is find a great marketing strategy in order to make it seem like cool. 3D printed food is better for you. Yeah. You know, like because then they're like, oh, you know exactly what's in it because we are showing you exactly the process of how to make X, Y, and Z. You know, I would not be surprised if it becomes a thing. I've actually seen people eat 3D steak already.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen videos.
I hope that wasn't an AI video. You can't tell nowadays.
I've seen videos of people doing it. I've never seen it done right before me. Like a 3D printed steak got cooked and then somebody ate it.
Yeah, I actually have then. Yeah.
Sheesh.
The first 3D printed steak is already out here. So
I'm good
all you gotta do is say like, oh, it's the best for protein and you can make it at your house. Yeah. Like people will eventually buy it. It's just new to us right now. So we look at it like, oh my God, that's weird. That's something that shouldn't be happening. Like, what do you mean?
And then it gets normalized.
Growing.
Right.
Exactly. But it takes just a really good marketing strategy. We talk about it all the time, like breakfast food and how like you say Kellogg's or cereal or even milk was marketed to people like, oh, you can get strong bones and all this other stuff. But was it?
You know what may end up happening? Either they market it correctly to people or they say that this is the only way we can eat. You know, they control our food. So for instance, what if, and this is a big what if, not too much of a big what if because it already happened, but what if we go into another shutdown all over again and the food gets scarce and they're like, hey, you guys, the only way we can all eat is 3D printing your food.
Yeah.
People will totally buy into it and then it becomes a whole normal thing in society.
No, 100%. It will just be, and then they'll try to keep it because they'll be like, oh, this is saving costs for things. If you don't want to kill animals, then this is what you have to do. But I don't know. It's all just weird to me. And I do agree with Trey Tay. People can't handle change. I worry myself on change sometimes and trying to like adjust to things that happen in your life. But it can be difficult, but it gets to a point, you know? It truly gets to a point where you gotta look yourself in the mirror and be like, am I gonna try this 3D printed meat? Am I gonna go clone my animal?
Right.
And let it go. Like I was gonna bring this up one day. I might still bring it up actually, or maybe we'll talk about it another day. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it now.
Clone a black woman.
But people, I've been seeing AI and they're saying that in the future or an AI thing is coming out. Actually, I feel like I should wait so I can get the facts on it. I want to get the facts on it.
Let's get my gears going.
Okay, well, pretty much it's like a app or some type of phone or something like that where you can talk to your deceased loved ones.
Ooh, I saw that one.
And like you can take them with you. It's almost like a holographic image of them, and they're able to talk to you consciously to you and like give you advice. And I saw one. They're really pulling at people's heartstrings with the emotional piece of it to market it to you, but pretty much they had an example of a mom with a baby, right? And let's say your dad died or something and they weren't able to see your baby grow, right? With this app thing, phone system where you can talk to your loved one would be able to see your baby and give you like advice on what to do, like, oh, that baby seems like it needs a nap or something, like make sure you put him down or whatever. You can ask it questions, just all the things, and that will ruin us as people.
You think so?
Yes.
Well, in
let
what
it
ways?
Go, bro. You gotta let them rest, bro. Because at the end of the day, depending on what you believe, the world part of it, like where we're at right now, is not the end all be all. Like you have to understand the plot. Like I understand you experience people
that
you
we
love
have to
them.
die.
Yeah, like you experience people, you love them, you don't want to see them go, obviously, but
It's a part of the
unfortunately
journey.
that is part of the end of what we all are going to have to get to.
Yeah.
So I understand you want to be able to talk to them and things like that, but I just don't think that that's going to be beneficial for our mental health if we're able to talk to our deceased loved ones like a regular conversation through a phone.
Some would argue that it would be no different versus you kind of trying to, pray to that one spirit, you know what I'm saying, and try to bring them back and talk to them and look for some advice.
Yeah,
like,
that's all demonic to me.
To be honest with you, I remember me and a good friend of mine, we thought of this very idea back in like 2010. We were like, bro, one day there'll be like some kind of insurance policy you'll be able to get to where you'll still be able to talk to your loved ones from beyond the grave.
Yeah, they be having that. I was watching the news one day, and there was like this phone that you could use to try to talk to your loved ones in the graveyard site or something like that. I think the phone system was at the graveyard, and you'd be able to like chime in and probably talk to them. I don't know who you actually talking to, but some people felt like they really were talking to their loved one, and I'm just like, that's weird.
And I think because of the digital society that we're growing up in and participating in each and every day, that there will be some kind of like, because now in our time of day, we can't leave this world without having a digital footprint. So there will be a language model that is practiced off of everything that Carrying On the Juice has ever said, ever done, ever looked, every which way, to where, and I mean, I'm certain you don't want this for your lineage, but your lineage may have the option to be like, you know what, do you want to talk to Grandma Juice? You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
weird.
Man, your ancestors may be like, you know what, let's talk to Grandma Juice. And then their ancestors may be like, dang, you remember your great-great-grandma Juice?
What, predecessors?
Predecessors. Yeah, there you go. They may be like, you want to talk to great-great-grandma Juice and look for some advice. At one point, maybe the Avatar army is like, man, that's cold as hell. That's really cool. But on the other end, it is what you're saying, though. Just like, dang, like, you kind of do need to let some people rest. Even though they may not be there physically, maybe you don't even need to, mess with them digitally. Yeah. However, I can understand how that may soothe somebody's, heartache, because even with my father, I wish that, I was able to still call his phone number and then just at least hear his voicemail.
Exactly.
That's legitimate. If I could just hear that Ronnie Hooks, that would make my day.
Dang, did they cut the phone off?
What do you mean?
I mean, I guess nobody has it anymore. I guess he wouldn't have the number to hear the voicemail.
No, we had to cut it off in like the first 30 days. Shoot, folks wasn't trying to pay that phone bill.
I guess, yeah.
That's real. But I wish we would have just at least saved like his voicemail though, and just we all had it. Only one thing that I did save for my dad was a videotape that he had filmed of his 42nd birthday of him jumping out of an airplane.
I remember you posted that.
It's on
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Would you do that?
I've always wanted to go skydiving. I just never done it.
Wow.
I'd go skydiving though and just test it all out.
That's crazy.
I don't know why, Juice, but I'm a person who always just like to, I go way out. I'm an extremist, so to speak.
Adventurous?
I'm very adventurous.
Yes,
I
you
want
are.
to touch
You're
the sky.
a wanderer.
Yeah, I am. I want to go and touch the sky, man. I really like to figure out this whole earth that we live on, that God created, and figure out all of his creations, man. It's wildly interesting to me.
Okay.
Talk to me, bro.
I don't know if I want to say it, y'all.
Say it.
Because I don't want it to be a thing. But I saw a post.
Maybe it will be a thing.
No, it might be a thing. Well, first things first. Would you clone Hazel?
Hell no.
Why?
Well, I just don't really believe in cloning.
Got it. Okay.
I think it'd be cool to see, but like after like 2 days, you know what I'm saying? Like, hell no, I don't know if this is a damn demon. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell no. Cause my dog already be on some BS sometimes, man. Like, she be scaring me sometimes, okay? So hell no. The clone of Hazel? No. No, and no. You got to die. If you ain't her child.
You be like, oh, that's so cool. Fire, 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 fire.
Raps,
Make
you
sure
are
you get a
gold.
recording. Look, yo, I done cloned my dog.
Yeah.
And then you gonna kill her, bro? That's wild.
And I want to just throw this out there too. When they talk about the ideas of cloning, there was a gentleman who cloned like his horses. He cloned his favorite racehorse and ended up making like 17 clones of this exact horse. Well, because of, again, the idea of eugenics, basically, if you go through something in your life that was traumatic enough for you or you learn, inevitably your offspring will end up doing the same exact thing, if not better than you in that same, given that same situation. Well, in the idea of cloning, it's almost the same exact thing, except for, you know, how you're touching your ear right now. If you were going through the exact same feeling and emotion, if your clone was going through the same exact feeling and emotion and had a co-star like me doing these types of things, your clone would actually do the same exact thing that you do and wouldn't even know that it's doing it.
Right.
So I just said that all to say that your clone will be exactly similar to you, but without your soul.
Yeah, that will be coming in the future for sure. They ain't making 100%. All these movies. All these movies end up coming to life,
and I mean,
honestly.
How many clones have we actually talked about before? When we talked about, oh, Kevin Hart could be a clone, Kanye West a clone,
People
Gucci
are
Mane
just
clone.
Conspiracy theorists, in my opinion.
Well, you got to watch Kevin Hart's special that he just put out last night. All right, I think he was alluding to some things.
On Netflix?
On Netflix. Actually really good. It's one of his best stand-ups in a very long time, because I ain't laughed at the Kevin Hart stand-up in a long time. That one last night took me all the way out. Yeah, I needed that good laugh.
I'm gonna have to watch it because lately I've been seeing Kevin Hart more so in his like businessman role, and I haven't really looked at him as a comedian in a while.
I feel that.
Like I looked at him as like, oh my God, he's just funny. Like he's humorous. He has a really great sense of humor, but I haven't really looked at him in the light of, no, this is a stand-up comedian, even though he does do it. Yeah. But I feel like sometimes that gets put to the back burner because he has so many other businesses that he needs to run and so many other ways of making money, which I'm excited to one day eventually soon listen to his interview he did on Diary of a CEO with Stephen
I forget
Barrett,
the gentleman's
I think,
name.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But he did one
British
of those
accent
like a
guy.
couple days ago where he's talking about making money and being a businessman, and that's really how I look at him in this day and age now.
Well,
but
I think at the end of the day, if you're going to get into something, any one of the arts, like for real, if you're going to get into some kind of creative field, know the business and learn the business of what you're in, or else you're going to get swept up by some other businessman who don't give a damn about your craft.
Or even just going deeper than that, you need to know businesses outside of just your industry.
Okay.
You know, because a lot of, like Kevin Hart, he does business in so many other what would you call it, sectors and spaces and stuff like that. You know, it's not just the creative fields, which I like his production company. I like what he's doing with that, but you know, probably got restaurants and investments and just so many other areas outside of just being creative, which I think is necessary in order to be 100%, like to be filthy rich. He's not a billionaire yet, right? I think he's just a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, I'm certain he's a multi-millionaire. Ain't got the bees yet, but
right,
that's okay. Maybe you don't need a bee.
Crazy. Like he makes money and he's really up there. But shout out to Kevin Hart. I agree, Trey Tay. Kevin on Kai Cenat stream was extremely funny. Like that duo or that trio there with Drewski, Kai, and Kevin, they got something right.
They do got the movie
They got something right. They have created the master formula with it being live, with it being improv, with like just their dynamics of the older and the younger, and Kevin trying to, you know, put Drewski and Kai on to certain things. They have figured it out. And so I also think that Kevin has figured it out that, you know, you got to support the younger generation. You have to support the things that they are doing. You have to enter into their world,
right?
You know, because that also allows for you to last a lot longer, because now the younger generation knows who Kevin Hart is. And now the younger generation is going to remember Kevin Hart way longer than just us millennials would have.
That's
you
right.
know,
Yeah.
like you got to be smart and strategic about it. But shout out to Kevin for his support with that, because sometimes we look at the older crowd and we're like, man, they be gatekeeping, or they're not trying to support us, or they just don't understand us. They want to change us.
Right.
But it seems like Kevin truly was like, listen, I'm going to go into their world while also putting them on game to what they need to do to level up, you know? healthy balance of both for sure.
Yeah, no, I think that was one of the smartest things Kevin Hart has done. And I mean, I think that's the smartest thing anybody can do who has reached the pinnacle of success that Kevin Hart has done. Like, once you get up there, you need to be looking back and seeing how the young ones are actually going about curating their own communities and becoming successful. That's why I get so mad at Nicki Minaj. Like, I wish Nicki Minaj, as soon as, like, she had already been in the game, well dominated for over a decade, I wish she would have put Cardi B underneath her wing, Megan Thee Stallion underneath her wing, all these young female rappers underneath her wing, just so she can only inflate what she had going on. Instead, she's kind of destroying her own thing by not supporting the youth. And I think that's what happens even on these streets out here. When the OGs out here aren't supporting the youth, giving the youth some good critique and helping us out, that's when I think, we start to run dry. That's one of the reasons why, like, we at where we at. Your OGs was like, oh, let's help out.
Mm-hmm.
So
shout out to OGs.
Yeah.
Shout out OGs. And Nikki is doing her own damage to herself by siding with a certain particular side that some people would say she doesn't need to side with, but
Donnie T.
It is what it is. That woman gonna do what she do. I just hope she understands the consequences of her actions. But with that being said, you guys, we're gonna get ready to wrap up the show with a bow and give you our drop of juice when we hear a quick message from our lovely sponsor.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm thick-cut bacon sizzling on your stove. And while you were over there smearing your bagel, this little piggy went on a splatter spree. And if you don't have the right home insurance coverage, you'll be crying wee, wee, wee over this fire in your home. So get Allstate.
Contact Milwaukee Allstate agent Cindy Johnson today at 414-445-2558.
Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
And we're back.
That is hilarious. Let us know if y'all like that better, honestly, now that we're at the end of the show. Do you like it better without the breaks? Us just going all the way through? Honestly, I feel like we've been yapping. We've been going all over, bro. So many topics that we talked about today.
Yeah. I think we've had a well-rounded discussion.
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie, after the rabbit hole joint, though, I felt like that's when everything had just... Just all these different ideas that was going through our minds, whether we were talking about the idea of cloning, the phone idea where you could talk to your ancestor from beyond the grave, all those ideas. But I think that's what makes everything great. Just having a good conversation. Talk about Kevin Hart, what he's done for the young bulls. Ain't no format. We the format.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I will wrap up the show with a bow, giving my drop of juice to say, what do I want to say today? Honestly, I was going to say something and I completely forgot. What I was going to say.
It's your drop of juice, dude.
I know. What's yours?
Oh, my drop of juice?
I think my drop of juice was going to be trolling you with something, but I don't even remember what the troll was.
You going to use these last few seconds to troll me?
I was.
You going to use these last few seconds to troll me?
I 100% was.
Your boy?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Not even going to lie. Because remember I had said something like, oh, no, I'm going to save it for the end. And I don't even remember. I got to start writing stuff down.
I will say this for my drop of juice. Okay. Reading is fundamental. You need to learn how to read. Okay. Math is very important. 1 + 1 just may equal 2. And that's my drop of juice.
What are you saying? What are
Red
you talking
fish,
about?
blue fish.
I'm seriously gonna call
Give
your
a dog
mother.
a bone.
I'm seriously gonna call your mother and ask her, what did your English classes look like? Because from the fact of you saying you used to ride the short bus with your friend that you didn't know needed to ride the short bus, it tells me a lot about the classes they could have put you in to get you up to date with what you needed to. And that's probably why you were learning English for so long, because it might have been something they saw in you where they said, no, I think this brother needs to figure out a few things a little bit longer.
Can I be honest?
You was over here like, I want to do Spanish. They said, nah, baby, you got some more English to learn because your language is just not clicking for you.
I started learning Spanish in 7th and 8th and 9th grade, okay? And I definitely know how to read and write in Spanish. I just want to let y'all know that. I'm not just Ben Hameen for no reason, okay? I know how to speak in Spanish, okay? And write in Spanish.
Like also, fluently?
I wouldn't say I'm fluent, but I can definitely, I can hold a little, ¿Dónde estás?
Muy bien, y tú?
En mi casa, Benjamín con Hugo.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. I don't remember my Spanish classes.
Yeah, it is. Nah, but I can read and write in Spanish, you know, so it's just one of them things. It's like, for real, I get jealous of other countries' children who learn other languages at a very younger age. And if they can do it, I know American children can as well. They learn how to read and write in English, and they over there in Pakistan.
I gotta shut this down because I feel like if you can't like fluently or even close to fluently read and write and speak in Spanish, you can't say like, I know how to read and write and speak Spanish.
Y'all don't know.
Then as soon as you going down there in Mexico and you trying to order something and they looking at you and you like, no speak Espanol. That's you.
Bro,
That's you.
I have literally helped out one of my Hispanic brothers one time in a Walgreens, okay? I was in a Walgreens once before, okay? And something was going on where he only spoke Spanish, but he had an American, you know, customer service lady trying to help him out. And he was trying to tell her his age. He was like, 32. And she couldn't understand exactly what he was saying. So I said, Benjamin hat came on, and I helped him out.
And said what? He's 22, ma'am. Is that what you said?
No, see, look, I said 32. That is 32.
I just threw a number out there.
Yeah, because you weren't listening
to the number.
You weren't listening, and you don't know other languages.
So you feel as though you know how to speak Spanish because you know some numbers?
I know numbers, letters, words.
Do the alphabet right now.
A, B, C, D, E,
no,
F,
without the song. Without the song.
A after he ought the guy. L, A, M, A, N, N. Ope, Q, and S, S, T. I can count to like 100 in Spanish as well. So like,
okay, now actually speak it. Say to me like, hey, I am enjoying this day so much that I need to go pick up my laundry from the laundromat and I need to fold up my clothes. Do you know how to say that?
Okay, I don't know how to say laundromat and I don't know how to say fold up clothes, but if I was to say that I really like this day, I would go on to say me gusta. Let's see, me gusta. Me gusta today.
El dia.
Me gusta el dia. Mercados.
See, look at this. Black people always want to be like, I could speak Spanish. I could speak Spanish. Don't even know how to do a daggone thing. But you know what? That my drop of juice is stop saying you can speak Spanish if you can't. Make sure that our babies are literate and they know how to read and they know how to do math. Don't stop them at 6th grade like Benjamin would suggest. I feel like this is going to be brought up again at some point. And
when I'm the president in 2052,
you're not.
They finna grill me at the debate.
This is why I say Ben is not getting my vote, bro. I don't care. Like, I don't care because I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to be your biggest hater when you're trying to run. I'd be like, hey, community, America. This is how he feels and this is what he's going to do to our children.
She going to be like, go back and watch our YouTube. Run the views up.
I'd be like, I actually know him. Don't do it. But thank y'all so much for tapping into Jammin' With Juice today.
Yeah.
You can find us here again tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow on Wednesday, right?
Is that right?
The day before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Crazy, you guys.
Okay.
But find us right here, 7 a.m. You know where to find us. It's the morning stream. It's Jammin' With Juice, baby. I am your girl, Nomi Juice. Always keeping it juicy.
Fresh
and I got my boy Jammin' with me.
More. It's amazing.
Now sip on.
Shout out to my boy Tyler. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Trey Day. Shout out to SE.
Really fun show today.
Shout out to Jody. Shout out Big Nut.
With a big butt.
Shout out Travis the Matrix.
Send us pictures. Have a safe day, y'all.
Esteban, good morning.
Enjoy your week.
Okay.
Yes, Noni, I approve your message. Shout out to Josh. Yes, y'all.
Okay.
Bye. See ya. Later. Follow me on Instagram.